Certainly you can't hold you back for trying on that circuit. Was that something you expected, you know, coming in? Had anybody scouted the circuit? Had you guys seen it before? And give us your comments, you know, coming into
Fly Australia's been, we were pretty diligent in reconning all the courses before we got the invitation to come here. We had such great ambition to be in this race. But unfortunately at this stage I decided to stop 30k early, so I didn't see the finish. So it was a bit bloody harder than what I thought it would be. But coming across that finish line the first time, the crowd was absolutely amazing, and I drew a lot of inspiration from that, and really helped me get around the next lap, but unfortunately the bunch was just a little bit too close at that stage.
Ben, so what was going on in the break? You guys seem to be attacking each other for at least half of that. Can you talk about that?
You know, cycling is a game of chess, and we had, once I heard through my radio what was going on behind during the climbs in the middle of the stage, with the main peloton splitting into a few different groups, I was notified that most of our team sprinters were in that front group, and that you know, we have to play our best cards at the right time, and those guys are sprinting very well at the moment, so I was happy to kind of sacrifice myself to make sure that they had you know, so they could be in a position to win the stage. You know, we're here to win as a team and not to win as individuals, and so I kind of sat on a little bit and pissed a few people off, but that's bike racing and that's the nature of the game, and threw on a few attacks there to the finishes to see what could happen. But you know, the guys in the break worked very hard today. You know, Fly Australia came up a little bit short in the finish, but we have some incredibly talented athletes, and we're really knocking on the door very closely at the moment, so I don't think it's going to be too long until we kind of crack that.
Ben, you talked about how much harder that finish was than maybe you expected. Have you ever seen a circuit finish like this before, or is this pretty unique?
You know, the Euros aren't 100% convinced of having circuits coming into the finish. They don't always like them, but you know, I think that really made an extra spectacle to the race, and it's something that they should appreciate. It brings a great moment to you know, a stage finish. The Tour of California is a Tour of California, and it should stay the way it is, I think, because we have such incredible crowds, people all over the roads, and some great finishes. Like, who here can say that today was an exciting finish?
Okay, which was quite a ways from the finish on those difficult finishing circuits there. Were you trying to dispel some weakness that you saw in the group? Were you trying to get the guys activated? What was your thoughts going over that?
There's some pretty fast finishes in that group, you know, especially with Renshaw there. So I think he's riding quite strongly at the moment, and I definitely needed to play a few cards there to see if I could, you know, thin the group out and find a nice little combination to go to the line with. You know, with me sitting on that break beforehand, it was kind of dispelling, kind of disencouraging, kind of, you know, the momentum of the group, and kind of saved everything and had a big crack at that final KOM. But like I said, Mark's riding very strongly at the moment. He came with me. We had a good little gap there for a while, but the guys behind us were able to get back on, and you know, there was quite a few attacks coming into the finish there, and you know, that was a little bit hectic, and just, you know, it's a game of patience too. You know, trying to choose the right one to go straight after, play a few little games of weakness. It's charades almost. So.
All right, any more questions? Go ahead.
Ben, what do you expect going forward with the difficulty of your steel stages?
Oh, apparently we've got Big Bear tomorrow. I need a little bit of recovery between now and then. It's going to be an incredibly long stage. It's going to be probably the most magnificent stage that the Tour of California's ever had. I don't expect it to be incredibly decisive, just with the climbs being so far from the finish line, but there's such a massive amount of climbing during the stage that it's really going to weaken some legs, and I think, you know, turn Saturday's time trial into a little bit of a different result than what could be. Like, if you're not climbing well, if you're not conservative during tomorrow's stage, if you're not eating well, then Saturday's time trial is going to be a hell of a lot harder for you as well. Thousand Oaks, it's a very, very challenging circuit as well. I think for whichever team is controlling the race at that stage, they're going to have to work very, very hard, and if there's any weaknesses in that particular team, then you know, we could still see, you know, some shifts in the GC. So very, very exciting last couple of days, and we as cyclists are I know that we've got a big task ahead of us just to get through the Tour of California. It's very challenging.